Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
The tiny village of Sanford is showing the heart of a giant as they try to repair and rebuild what floodwaters took from them. Hank.
Coming up new tonight, Mayor Duggan reacting to the news that former Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick could soon be a free man.
And as the holiday weekend gets underway, there's a sense of almost normalcy up north, where bars and restaurants are welcoming people back in. Good evening, and let's start with the biggest news from the state involving Governor Whitmer's stay-home order, which she warned yesterday would probably have to be extended.
And that's exactly the case. The stay-home order will now be in effect until the 12th of June. It was previously set to expire May 28th. That news comes as COVID-19 case numbers remain consistent. The state reporting 403 new cases and 29 more deaths.
Today, President Trump made places of worship his focus, demanding all U.S. governors open up churches, synagogues, and mosques by deeming them essential.
The ministers, pastors, rabbis, imams, and other faith leaders will make sure that their congregations are safe as they gather and pray. I know them well. They love their congregations. They love their people. They don't want anything bad to happen to them or to anybody else. The governors need to do the right thing and allow these very important, essential places of faith to open right now for this weekend. If they don't do it, I will override the governors. In America, we need more prayer, not less.
Now, it is unclear whether the president has the power to, as he says, override the governors. Regardless, Michigan has no penalties for places of worship that open. And as we've seen, local Catholic churches are once again holding public masses.
Well, tonight is the night much of Michigan has been waiting for. Up north, Michigan has the green light to open its restaurants and bars partially and start that road back to the new normal. Local 4 business editor Rob Maloney is live this evening in Prudenville, where a popular restaurant and bar is up and running. He joins us now live. And Rod, what have you found up there today? I'm sure that people are very, very happy about this change.
Oh, happy doesn't cover it, Karen. And, you know, to have a chance to have this is alcohol free, but to have a drink with an umbrella in it out and somebody serving you, that's a big bonus. Now, we're here at the Frog Bar, Tiki Bar in Prudenville, but just up the street in Houghton Lake, they've been super busy all day. Houghton Lake started looking like its old self bright and early this morning. The season's first farmers market popped up outside the Historical Society's playhouse. Inside, you could follow social distancing arrows to take part in its flea market. Donna Sackett of Livonia came with a renewed appreciation for the little things.
It's wonderful. It's absolutely awesome. We are keeping our social distance when we're at places like this, and we were surprised it was open, but we were glad.
For 3 generations, the Rockin' Chair gift shop, with its attention-grabbing, child-pleasing fiberglass and cement animals outside, has peddled Houghton Lake visitors their T-shirts, moccasins, and collectible rocks, among other things. Owner Scott Bockelman used X's on the floor to help customers keep 6 feet apart, put up plexiglass at the counter, and has bleach solution at the ready.
I have bleach I wipe off for customers on the keypad and the door handles, and I think I have everything I was supposed to have anyway.
For many, just sitting in a restaurant and getting served is a welcome change. At Joe's Coney Island, owner Joe Vandevelder says it's been a long, cold, stressful winter, and he's glad it's passed.
Yeah, it was very difficult. We had to throw food out. We were giving it away. Yeah, we lost a lot of money to shut down a business. Yeah, to let your employees go, you know, and try to take care of everybody and everything and paying them for hours where you're not bringing anything in. Hi, welcome.
Come in.
Yeah, you know, when you get open after 2 months of losing money, there's a lot of excitement here because it saves the season here. Inside the bar, they're trying to stay socially distanced, but they're expecting a busy crowd here tonight because they're going to have live music. And so they're braced for it in here. We'll see how it goes. Reporting live in Prudenville, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Rod, it seems like a dream. Live music, people serving food to you. It's unbelievable. I've got to ask, the crowd looks pretty good size. Is there enough room to accommodate them, or how are they handling that?
Well, you know, the great thing about this is that the liquor license says they can go out as far as they want as long as you're not on the parking lot, which is where I'm sitting right now. So there's plenty of room, and they've been adding on in the back. They've got a gazebo where the music's going to be, and they've got a lawn over here. They need to spread out. They say they've got the room, they've got the tables.
Some good news to share tonight. Thank you, Rod, and have a good weekend yourself with your family.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Rod, and the all-important Memorial Day weekend forecast isn't looking too bad. Let's bring in Ben for a look at what people can expect.
Yeah, Kim, it looks summery. I think that's the best way to put it, and it gets better as we get later into the forecast. But we've got some drops out there today. In fact, the southern portion of the state has seen the not so nice of the weather, while up north has been getting all the sun. 4Live radar shows St. Clair County still getting some of those showers, and likely we're going to see those around at least during parts of the evening tonight. So here's how the rest of tonight's going to shake out. You can see that there's not going to be a whole lot in the way of rain, but it is going to be fading the longer we wait, especially as we head towards daybreak tomorrow morning. So expecting to see a dry start to our Saturday. As far as temperatures go, we're in the 60s right now. Places up north are actually much warmer than we are with that sunshine. 73 in Alpena. It is 78 up in the Sioux right now, and there are places in Canada that are in the 80s, but we'll get there. We'll take a look at your Memorial Day weekend forecast coming up, but if you want a sneak peek, it's on the Local Forecasters app right now. Take us with you as you go out to celebrate the holiday weekend. Radar any storm alerts we may need, and of course all the heat and humidity that you'll need to stay safe this weekend. All that's in your app store by searching WDIV. Guys?
Tonight, there are reports that former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick will soon be granted compassionate release from federal prison in Louisiana due to the coronavirus pandemic. That particular prison has been hit hard by COVID-19, and sources confirmed to us Kilpatrick is currently in quarantine there. The Federal Bureau of Prisons will only confirm Kilpatrick remains in custody, but will not reveal information about a possible release. But his family says they've gotten official word, and many Detroit power players and those tied to the case are speaking out tonight. Our Hank Winchester, who is in the courtroom for the federal trial, has reaction.
Just mention the name Kwame Kilpatrick in our area and you are bound to get some strong reactions. Some who believe he should be released from prison right now, and others who want him to remain locked up. Today, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan reacting to the news that Kwame Kilpatrick could soon be released.
I think he's one of the most extraordinarily talented people I've ever met. I think he has a lot to contribute. And if, in fact, the reports are true, I'll be doing anything I can to help him get a fresh start.
Norman Utuma represented the family of slain stripper Tamara Green, who some believe was at the long-rumored, never-proven Manoogian Mansion party.
I think it's terrible. Kwame Kilpatrick devastated the city of Detroit, devastated countless people, countless families, countless businesses. He committed an awful lot of crimes. He ought to do the time.
Karen Dumas, a Detroit City Hall insider, worked as a spokesperson for former Mayor Dave Bang.
I think that, if in fact that whomever sees it justified for him to be released early, then so be it. I don't think 28 years, you're seeing Trump's people walk out of jail like they're leaving an amusement park. So, I don't think that's a bad thing. Let him out.
Angela Stanton King is a Kilpatrick supporter who's been fighting for his release.
I believe that Kwame has a chance to come home and right all of his wrongs. I believe that redemption is for everyone, and 10 years is long enough to be separated from your family.
And Keith Corbett is a legal expert who followed the case against Kilpatrick closely.
I think it's a very poor choice. He does not strike me as the kind of person who deserves a break given the totality of circumstances relating to his conviction.
Those close to Kwame Kilpatrick and his family members believe that he will, in fact, be released in early June. Meantime, the Federal Bureau of Prisons does not comment on the release of any inmate. I'm Hank Winchester, Local 4.
Okay, Hank. Well, it's amazing to see what's going on in Sanford, Michigan right now. The community of around 830 people watched as floodwaters from a broken dam swamped many of their homes and businesses. Sean Lay shows us how they're banding together to repair what's fixable and rebuild what's not.
We're in the heart of the village of Sanford. We were here yesterday. There was a stunned silence here, but now there's a new energy. Every business hit hard, but now the cleanup is beginning. In fact, loyal customers of Sanford Pizza, the pizza place here on the main drag, they've shown up to help with the cleanup. But with every move, make no mistake, every move is very, very hard.
All I could think of is it looks like a war zone.
Not only is Sanford Pizza destroyed, photos inside owner Pam Riggy had of her late father were also washed away.
I had a collage and everything of him up by my cash register because that's where I lived. Gone. My son came in the first day that it was able to come in here, and he found the cross of my dad's ashes. He salvaged that for me.
Massive floodwaters slammed into this mid-Michigan village when a dam upriver here failed. Every business here was hit hard. Pam's pizza oven tossed right through the back wall. Customers who came for pickup for weeks to help the business stay afloat during the coronavirus lockdown are now back today, helping with the cleanup.
It's like Mayberry. Everybody honks and waves and says hi. It's the most friendly, close-knit community I've ever seen. It's the same way with other restaurants and gas stations, and it's the community that pulls together, and that's there. And it breaks my heart. Never in a million years would I think this would happen.
The same thing we keep hearing from everyone all over this village is that this village, Sanford, the people here stick together, they help each other out. Now you can see everyone has rolled up their sleeves. They were stunned yesterday, they were hit hard, but today they are getting back off the mat. In Sanford, Sean Lay, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Sean. So will summer bring a shift in the ability of the coronavirus to spread? It's been a question many experts have debated to no avail. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here this evening with a warning about using any potential period of decrease to prepare.
Temperatures are warming up, and we're about to test the theory that there might be a seasonality to the spread of the COVID-19 virus, with the potential that increased temperatures and humidity could decrease transmission. Here's the important message you should be aware of, though. The good news part of a seasonal improvement is we might see a drop in new infections over the summer. The bad news is that it is a double-edged sword. Any decrease related to the summer will mean that there will be an increase in the fall and winter. Now, while we hopefully catch a break, you should use it to take a breath, but also use any opportunity that nature might offer to prepare yourself and your family for a resurgence in the future. Ask yourself, if another lockdown became necessary, what household supplies and food would I need? What financial plans can I make? And as more PPE becomes available in time, there should be opportunities for the public to prepare. Lastly, any possible improvement because of favorable weather could end up wasted if we don't continue to maintain social precautions that everyone is familiar with. The warm weather does not mean you can let your guard down. The virus can still spread in any season. Back to you.
New at 6.
A lot of businesses have been hit hard recently, but I'll show you how this particular business says they're already bouncing back after being shut down for 5 weeks of their busy season, thanks to the community coming together to support local.